Welcome to this video brought to you by the Duke Center for Eating Disorders. Today, we are excited to share another scenario common among individuals struggling with an eating disorder: difficulty at lunchtime. Today, you will meet Eddie, who is having a tough time managing the pesky voice of her eating disorder while having lunch with her friends at school. Eddie's stomach is telling her she's hungry, and Eddie's brain can't concentrate without fuel. However, the eating disorder voice in Eddie's brain is not having it. Let's watch what happens.
Welcome to today's edition of Friday Bite Fights. Today we're taking you live to the lunchroom at Eddie's school, where it's a classic battle of Eddie's body and her brain taking on her vicious thoughts. I hope you've packed your surfboards, because it looks like we're in for an emotional wave. And round one is about to begin.
Hello? Anybody home?
Ignore that.
What? Ignore me? Are you kidding?
You don't need food. You'll be fine.
Fine. Girlfriend, we are running on empty.
You had a banana for breakfast. You can last until dinner.
Wait, that was like 6 hours ago. Don't get me wrong, it was absolutely wonderful. Although honestly, it could have used a little peanut butter. Ooh, and a nice bowl of oatmeal with it. Maybe some slivered almonds on top, just like in that Instagram post you liked yesterday.
There you go. Getting sidetracked again. Always thinking about food. Pathetic.
But there's no way we can focus on anything except food when I'm running on empty like this.
And that's the end of round one. Wow, Eddie's eating disorder is really bullying her today. I wonder if there's something else going on. Eating disorders often get louder when there's stress. Maybe Eddie received some disappointing news. Maybe there's an upcoming event she's worried about. Let's see if we can really find out what's going on in round two.
Eddie, what are you doing? You have a math test this afternoon. You know it's impossible to concentrate without any fuel.
You'll be fine. You stayed up all night studying.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, sweetie, I forgot. You're sleep deprived too. You poor thing. Then we really need to make choices that help take care of you.
I guess I could eat my lunch. I just feel so fat.
I'm noticing the eating disorder thoughts are pretty revved up today. Is there anything happening today that might be upsetting you? I guess I'm nervous about this test. I got a 68 on the last test, you know. I'm so mad at myself. I have to be more disciplined. At least I lost 2 pounds last week.
Well, there you have it, folks. Sounds like there was something else going on. Point for body and brain team for not taking Eddie's thoughts at face value. I'll tell you what, if there's one thing I've learned in all my years of watching these battles, it's that there's always something more to the story. You might think it's just a fear of gaining weight or desire to be thin, and that is exactly what this eating disorder wants you to think. However, a better way to think about eating disorder thoughts is as a warning sign, a red light. When these thoughts are loud, you can bet that something is going on and that it needs to be explored. Let's take a closer look at the classic strategy from the eating disorder playbook, shall we?
So, to mask the difficult emotions going on underneath, the eating disorder gets louder, trying to distract your attention by making you think more about weight and shape. This is very clever, because thinking about weight distracts you from thinking about other, often more complex things that don't have an easy solution. Let's show you in this diagram. Step 1. Difficult emotions occur. Step 2. Eating disorder thoughts get louder. Step 3. If someone is vulnerable and listens to the eating disorder thoughts and engages in eating disorder behaviors, they get hungry, because we need enough food to survive and flourish. Now the body goes into super intensity mode. the stomach and brain work incredibly hard to get you to listen to them so your body gives you the energy it needs. They do this in very logical ways. Your stomach keeps shouting at you to eat. Your brain won't let you stop thinking about food all the time. It makes it very hard to concentrate on other things. How clever! Your body and brain are working together to protect you. Step 4. Hunger makes you think about food all the time and have trouble concentrating. However, the eating disorder can even make you feel guilty about your body just doing its job.
You are thinking about food all the time because you have no control.
As a result, people with eating disorders stop trusting their body and themselves. This has really important consequences. What are these consequences, you ask? Well, that would take us hours, so we will just name 2 of the biggies. Let's think about physical consequences of not eating. This is a fight your body and brain have to win. Since you need energy to survive, your body stops functioning if it doesn't get enough energy. These changes are subtle at first, but they add up over time until sometimes it's too late to undo the damage. You lose brain mass, so you can't think as well. You lose bone strength, so your ability to stay physically active is in jeopardy. This loss of brain mass, bone strength, and height, if you're still growing, are the things you can't get back if you ignore your brain and body for too long. Let's put the pieces we know so far together. Why would your eating disorder do this? When your brain is filled with eating disorder thoughts, you are less focused on more meaningful and more complex things that might be bothering you, and that you have less control over. And that is one sneaky way that the eating disorder tries to help you, but really only makes things more complicated and dangerous. In the last part of our diagram, the eating disorder distracts you from complex, upsetting situations while robbing you of your brain and your pizzazz. Now, let's see how this applies to Eddie. Eddie is feeling a whole bunch of emotions about the tests she has this afternoon, as well as the last test. Let's see. We've got some anxiety about the upcoming test. Then we also have some sadness and shame about the last test. Wow, anxiety, shame, and sadness? Those are some difficult emotions. The eating disorder, never one to miss an opportunity, swoops in and pushes the emotions away. When Eddie's body isn't getting enough nourishment, her stomach tries to help and sends SOS signals to her brain, who then makes thoughts all about food. Now, you see how the eating disorder does that? Sly little devil.
Poor Eddie, how exhausting and not to mention lonely to have all that going on in her head. But not so fast, because Eddie's got a few strategies of her own. That's right, folks, this battle is not over yet. Eddie and her family have been learning new strategies from their therapist for when the eating disorder thoughts get too loud. Let's see how these things turn out in the final round.